16th century England was a very turbulent place in matters of religion. Henry VIII had ordered the dissolution of the monasteries in 1536, and there's a sense in which religious culture is really uprooted, especially for ordinary people at this time. So in just over 30 years, England has undergone really extraordinary religious and cultural change. And for religious writers and religious artists in this period, responding to all that is really quite a challenge. Tallis manages it musically whilst being true to himself, and that's quite extraordinary. Thomas Tallis was an English composer born around 1505. He becomes an organist at the Chapel Royal and serves in the reigns of Henry VIII, Edward VI, Queen Mary Tudor, and Elizabeth I. And the Queen grants to Thomas Tallis and his contemporary William Byrd a monopoly for the publication of music.
It's probable that when he came to write the Lamentations, we were probably by this stage in the 1560s, so early in Elizabeth's time.
The Lamentations of Jeremiah are essentially 5 poems which lament the destruction of the holy city Jerusalem by the pagan Babylonians in the middle of the 500s BC. They're attributed to the Old Testament prophet Jeremiah, but almost certainly written by survivors of this catastrophe who somehow managed to stay in the ruined city. It's really hard for us to understand just how devastating, how all-encompassing the loss of Jerusalem would have been for the Jewish people. We might think in terms of real existential threat, alongside a devastating sense of abandonment. And it's this that the text of Lamentations articulates again and again, punctuated with the cry, "Jerusalem, return to the Lord your God." Tallis, of course, in setting these texts for a Christian audience, does so in a particular way. They're written to be sung during Holy Week.
He had a lot of sympathy with those recusant Catholics who were lamenting for their lost Catholic heritage in England.
These texts were particularly poignant for English Catholics. And as the 16th century goes on, things get darker for English Catholics. They're wrestling with these questions of how and why again and again, the inevitable questions of grief.
The loss of the city of Jerusalem, personified in the text of the Lamentation, is a great metaphor for that. I think perhaps one of the things one feels the most in performing this music is the timeless quality of it. The fact that this music has existed for so long and that the Abbey has existed for so long, there are all these different timescales.
Choral music is powerful in the Abbey Church because they created a space that's superb for groups of people to sing with each other.
The tonality of this music, the sense of drama and poignance, I think all of this allows us to engage with those Lenten themes of penitence and sorrow, and also give us a kind of permission to feel the grief and loss we all know in different ways. This music, particularly when it's sung in worship, enables us to connect those emotions with the grief and sorrows of the past and to lay it all down in front of the cross.
Whenever beautiful words from the scriptures are set to music by a great composer, new dimensions are added. That is never more the case than in this example by Thomas Tallis.
Tallis is an extraordinarily expressive composer, and I think it's the expression combined with technical musical things like key structures that really help us get near the heart of the emotion in this music.
Okay, in the bottom line, third bar bottom line, Stuart.
I think one of the most important things when conducting a choir is to be listening and then responding to what you're hearing. I'm very lucky to work with 5 of the best consort singers in the world.
Westminster Abbey is a very inspirational place to sing in. Wherever you're standing, there's something that can catch your eye that might inspire you.
It's a question of nurturing the relationship between the music and the building, trying to ensure that conductor and singers are really listening to what the building is telling them. interacting with the way the building wants us to sing, listening to the sense of space which it is suggesting to us.
These texts have provided sustenance and resonance for people in so many times and places over the last 2,500 years.
It's amazing how some of the words of the Old Testament remain just as contemporary to us today as they were when they were written. Tallis and the author of the Book of Lamentations enable us to empathize more deeply with suffering in our own time.
I think if there's one thing I'd like people to take away, it would be the sense that this story of such destruction and grief and devastation can be clothed by something as beautiful as this music.
Music is emotionally very powerful. If you're a composer or a performer, what you can do is send something emotional out, and you just have to hope that your listeners have some kind of personal reference point to what you're trying to do, and you awake some kind of emotion in them.
There's healing for so much of the world's ill through that.